The kidnapping of the Chibok schoolgirls in April 2014 remains one of the most shocking crimes in modern African history. It was not only an attack on young girls, it was an attack on education, on hope, and on the future of a community that had already suffered years of violence. The incident captured global attention, inspired an international movement, and changed the way the world understood the threats faced by ordinary people in northeastern Nigeria. This armchair documentary looks calmly and clearly at what really happened, why it happened, and how a single crime exposed deep problems in security, communication, and governance. To understand the kidnapping, we must first understand the location. Chibok is a small, quiet town in Borno State, northeastern Nigeria. For years, the region had been affected by Boko Haram, an extremist group whose name roughly translates to "Western education is forbidden." By 2014, Boko Haram had already attacked villages, schools, churches, and government buildings across the region. Kidnappings were common. Fear was part of daily life, and many parents lived with constant worry about their children, especially their daughters, who often had to travel long distances to attend school. The Chibok Government Girls' Secondary School was one of the few places where girls could take final exams that would allow them to continue their education. Because of insecurity, many other schools in the region had closed. In April 2014, the students at Chibok had returned specifically to take their end-of-year exams. They were staying overnight at the school so they could complete their papers the next morning. They did not know that Boko Haram scouts had been watching the area for days. On the night of April 14th, 2014, everything changed. At around 10 p.m., a large group of Boko Haram fighters entered Chibok. They arrived in multiple trucks and motorcycles. They moved quickly and confidently, as if they had studied the town's layout in detail. They first attacked nearby buildings, setting some on fire. The noise woke the girls who were sleeping in their dormitories. Many thought it was a routine attack on a local market or on military outposts, which had happened before. But the armed men were heading directly toward the school. The security guards at the school were unarmed. They could not fight back. The attackers forced their way into the dormitories and classrooms, shouting orders. Some girls tried to run, but the darkness and confusion made escape almost impossible. Others hid under beds or behind walls, hoping not to be found. But the attackers searched every room. Within minutes, they had gathered more than 270 girls. The gunmen told the girls that they were soldiers of the Nigerian army sent to protect them. This was a lie, but some girls believed it at first. Others knew something was wrong, but they had no choice. The attackers ordered the girls to follow them outside. Some were forced into trucks, others were marched at gunpoint into the forest. The entire operation took less than an hour. When the trucks pulled away and the last group of girls disappeared into the night, the town of Chibok was left in shock. The next morning, Chibok's parents, teachers, and community leaders began searching for the girls. Many ran into the bush on foot, calling out names, hoping someone had escaped. A few girls had indeed managed to flee. Some jumped from moving trucks, others hid in thick bushes. A handful walked through the night, eventually finding their way back to town. Their testimonies confirmed the worst fears. Boko Haram had taken the girls deep into the Sambisa forest, the group's main stronghold. What happened next was one of the most painful parts of the entire tragedy: confusion and denial. In the first days after the kidnapping, information was unclear. Some officials said only a few girls were missing. Others said most had been rescued. There were conflicting statements from different branches of government. Parents, desperate for answers, waited for news that never came. National leaders did not speak publicly about the incident for almost 2 weeks. Many Nigerians felt that the tragedy was not taken seriously at first. Some even believed the story was exaggerated. The confusion helped Boko Haram. Every hour of delay allowed the kidnappers to move deeper into the forest, spreading the girls across different camps. The terrain was extremely difficult. Thick vegetation made aerial searches challenging. The forest covered thousands of square kilometers and connected to remote parts of Cameroon, Niger, and Chad. This meant the girls could be split up and hidden with little chance of quick rescue. When news of the kidnapping finally reached international media, the reaction was immediate. The idea of hundreds of young girls being taken from their school shocked the world. Celebrities, world leaders, activists, and ordinary people joined the campaign using the hashtag #BringBackOurGirls. It became one of the largest social media movements in history. Protesters gathered in Abuja, Lagos, London, New York, and Johannesburg. Human rights groups demanded action. International governments offered support, including satellite imagery, drones, and intelligence teams. But public attention could not change the reality on the ground. Boko Haram released videos showing groups of the girls in hijabs, standing among trees or seated on the ground. Some appeared frightened. Others looked exhausted. The group's leader claimed they had converted the girls and would sell them or use them as bargaining tools. These videos caused global outrage, but they also proved that the girls were still alive. While the world watched, the people of Chibok suffered silently. Many parents stopped sleeping. Some refused to eat. Some walked into the bush every day, hoping to find tracks or signs. Mothers cried until they could no longer speak. Fathers blamed themselves for sending their daughters to school. The entire community lived with a wound that could not heal. Security experts began to analyze the kidnapping. They asked how Boko Haram managed to move so many girls without interception. They studied the group's growing strength. They examined the weaknesses in local security forces. They found that Boko Haram had expanded its influence over the years, taking advantage of poverty, lack of infrastructure, and slow government response. The kidnapping revealed just how vulnerable the region had become. In the months that followed, Nigeria launched military operations to weaken Boko Haram. There were battles in towns and villages. Some territories were reclaimed, but the group had already scattered the girls across multiple locations. Some were kept in forest camps. Some were taken across borders. Some were forced into marriages with Boko Haram fighters. Some were used as porters, cooks, or servants. And some were forced into extreme situations that left lasting emotional scars. By the end of 2014, the world realized that the rescue would not be simple. It would require intelligence, negotiation, and patience. Military assault carried risks. Hundreds of girls could be harmed. The Nigerian government, together with international partners, began exploring different strategies. They spoke to defectors, studied satellite images, and monitored Boko Haram communications. They also began quiet negotiations through intermediaries. These efforts would take years. Months following the kidnapping, attention remained high, but progress was slow. Search teams combed through forests and villages. Local hunters joined the search, using their knowledge of the terrain. International partners provided satellite images and surveillance support. But Boko Haram's camps were mobile, hidden, and protected by dense vegetation. The Sambisa forest, once a national park, had become a fortified hideout with underground bunkers, tunnels, and countless small camps. Some of the girls showed incredible bravery and escaped early. A few managed to slip away during long marches. Others escaped when their captors were distracted. One girl later told her story. She waited until night, then ran barefoot through thorns and rocks until she reached a village. Some escaped by pretending to be sick or pretending to follow orders until the right moment came. Every escape gave the families hope, and every testimony helped investigators understand the layouts of the camps. But not all stories were hopeful. Many girls faced psychological trauma, physical hardship, and emotional suffering. They were forced to adapt to life under constant surveillance. Some were told they would never see their families again. Some were pressured to convert or to accept forced marriages. These experiences created long-lasting scars that would remain with them even after freedom. By 2015, Nigeria elected a new government that promised to rescue the girls. Military operations increased. Boko Haram's territory shrank. Soldiers captured camps, arrested fighters, and helped civilians escape. But as victories increased, Boko Haram responded with more violence, including bombings and mass kidnappings. The situation became even more complex. The group split into factions, each with different leaders and goals. Some factions were willing to negotiate, others were not. The first major breakthrough came in May 2016, when a girl named Amina Ali was found by a vigilante group near the Sambisa forest. She was walking with a suspected Boko Haram member and carrying a baby. Her rescue brought new attention to the case. She was able to tell investigators more about the condition of the remaining girls. Her return was emotional. She was reunited with her mother, who cried uncontrollably. Amina's rescue showed the world that the girls were still alive. Later in 2016, after months of negotiations with one Boko Haram faction, 21 girls were released in a deal facilitated by international mediators. The girls arrived emaciated and emotionally shaken, but alive. They were taken to a secure facility where they received medical care, counseling, and reunions with their families. Parents fainted from emotion. Some cried uncontrollably, unable to believe their daughters were back. In 2017, another major negotiation brought home 82 more girls. This was one of the largest hostage releases ever achieved in Nigeria. The government involved mediators from Switzerland and the Red Cross, as well as negotiators who understood Boko Haram's internal politics. These talks were highly delicate. A small mistake could have ended the process. But the release brought relief to hundreds of families. However, not all parents enjoyed this relief. Many still waited for news. Some girls remained missing, and their fates were uncertain. Some were presumed married into different factions. Others were believed to have died in captivity. This uncertainty kept many parents in emotional limbo. They did not know whether to mourn, to hope, or to continue demanding answers. The returned girls faced new challenges. They had to rebuild their lives after years of isolation. Many had children born in captivity. Some struggled with memories and trauma. Others faced discrimination from communities that did not fully understand what they had endured. Nigerian authorities provided counseling, education, and protection, but reintegration was slow and difficult. Meanwhile, the Chibok kidnapping changed Nigeria in deep ways. It exposed weaknesses in security, communication, and emergency response. It highlighted the dangers that girls face when seeking education in conflict zones. It reminded the world that terrorism affects ordinary families most of all. The hashtag #BringBackOurGirls movement forced the government to improve its crisis response and made Nigerians more aware of the country's broader challenges with extremism. Internationally, the kidnapping shaped global policy conversations about girls' education, women's rights, and counter-terrorism. The United Nations, UNICEF, and many NGOs built new programs specifically focused on educating girls in conflict zones. The kidnapping also encouraged intelligence sharing between countries facing similar threats. Today, more than 10 years later, many Chibok girls have returned home. They have gone back to school, joined universities, or started families. Some are studying abroad. Some are training to become nurses, teachers, or social workers. Their courage is often described as quiet resilience. They endured terrible hardship, but many are determined to build full lives.